Content warning. This podcast contains bones, blood, smut, and swear words.
Before we get into the good shit this week, we wanted to remind you that we have a Patreon. For just $1 or $2 an episode, you get extended games, brand new content, access to our notes and murder boards, and much more. So if you would like to sponsor Marie's quest for creative perfume that recapitulates death in space, you can head to patreon.com/frontline5th or follow the link in the show notes. Okay, now back to that sweet, sweet Bone Zone action.
Death in space wouldn't rot.
You would still have the microbes that are part of you that would rot you.
Oh, listeners, I made such a mistake in writing that one.
Act 1. Welcome, penitents. Hello and welcome to the Frontline Fifth, a Locked Tomb podcast where a couple of delightfully naive teacher's aides explore the Locked Tomb series for the first time while a couple of dried out bone witches cackle over how little they really know. We're currently reading Nona the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, and this week we are strapping on our swords in chapters 22 and 23. I'm your host, Marie, and I'm joined this... Did you mean to do that, Hannah?
What did I do? Yes.
Strapping on.
Get it together.
Marie is absolutely lost it.
I gotta tell
sideways.
you, we really, we fall short on our smut content. Our swear words are good. We've got some bones and blood, but I really feel like we're, failing our listeners. So we're gonna try. We'll step it up.
Okay. I'm Marie. I'm joined this week by my dear friend and fellow, highly serious, never giggling, dressed in black bone witch, Hannah. So
That's
Hannah,
correct.
we all know that Ianthe only calls Harrow Harry to get under her skin. So have you ever had any nicknames that you have abhorred?
Yeah, so the number of times I got Hannah Banana was really, really high, and that was a
Doesn't
huge
suit you.
bummer. No, it doesn't work for me. I don't think so. Thank you. I really didn't like that as a child, but then it got much worse because then Hannah Montana came out, and that was
Oh, fuck
people
that.
people will still, upon meeting me, say, "Oh, like Hannah Montana," and I'm like, "You're a full-grown adult, dude. Like, what the fuck?"
There was a time before Hannah Montana, and you were there for it.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, excuse me, she is a Hannah G. That's please, come on. Anyway, I'm done now.
I mean, it's important to note that whenever you can, you use your initials, which are HAG.
This is true. I do all the time.
So, okay. Anyway, also with us are the light of our eyes, those sweet naifs, Brooke and John. So, Brooke, John, what do you hate to be called?
I don't think it's safe to answer this question.
What does that mean? I feel like I
Oh
need
yeah,
some
are we adding to our
details.
smut quota, or what are we doing here?
Oh, no. I just simply think you don't arm people with things that they know will hurt you.
Smart.
I guess I'll give you one for free, which is I've never liked it when people decide, oh, Brooke, is that short for Brooklyn? It's like, no.
Why would
I
it
would
be?
never have assumed that. How fascinating.
Yeah, I don't like that one.
I really get that.
Also, if your name's Brooklyn, you go by Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think so. I think you go by Brooklyn if your name is Brooklyn. There are some other weird... So the funny thing about having a name that is monosyllabic is that your nicknames are actually longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess that's not always... Some people go by... my brother is also a monosyllabic B name, and he goes by B.
What?
But-
Okay, sorry.
Well, he doesn't go by B, but sometimes people call him B.
Respect.
John, what about you?
So I have two. So in middle school, I had shoulder length hair, and being that people were idiots, they called me Mullet Man for a little bit. Which, number one, it wasn't a mullet. The sides weren't shaved. I just had really long hair, but they.
I love this.
People
You're
in middle school-
no, you're technically incorrect. That's
Yeah.
the part that I have a problem with.
Yes, it was more I clearly didn't have a mullet. Especially now with the aggressive mullets you see on youth these days, where they have the full fades running
it's
up the
coming
side
back.
with the crazy mullets. I just had long hair, right? And it really wasn't even that long. It was barely shoulder length.
Middle schoolers had a hard time with things that were slightly deviated from the norm, because I also had very long hair, and it was the time when the super short little haircuts with the straighteners were super fashionable. People would chase me around with scissors. Middle schoolers
Are you serious?
wild.
That's
I was
fucking
weird for
dark.
having long hair.
That actually
you really-
creeps me out. I don't like that, Brooke.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you really just got to get the kids through middle school, and then they're okay. They're
I think that's right.
middle school is
I think
a
that's
cesspit.
really right.
John, what's your other nickname?
I get Jonathan a lot.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Oh, but we do that to you.
Yeah.
Do you prefer Jonathan?
Jonathan's not my name.
No, I know, but sorry, this is hilarious. I really like extending people's names. So for no reason, we have a friend named Kyle and I call him Kyler. No follow-up. I like to extend people's names into things.
I'm
but it's
shocked
better.
you haven't extended mine.
I
It
would
is
actually
better
prefer
when you do
Jonathan
it into
over
a name
Jonathan,
that
I
makes
think.
no sense. That's why Jonathan is funny. Is like if you do it to something you know is incorrect, like Kyler, not a name.
I think that's
maybe in
right.
Utah. Murray, do you have nicknames though for you that you hate?
I don't think I have a worst nickname. I have like mean things probably that people have called me that I've like forgotten. But actually I have like my favorite nickname, which
So
is my
healthy.
family calls me Miss Mouse.
I love that. I love that very much.
Like your parents?
Yeah, my parents, my brother, I'm Miss Mouse.
Miss Mouse. I really like that a lot.
That's lovely.
Anyway, the big news in these chapters is the duel between Camilla and Ianthe Nibirius. But I'd like to know if there's anything else you'd like to highlight.
Oh my gosh. The first, what is this? The first of the two chapters, chapter 22, kept making me laugh because Nona holds no grudge.
No.
First, she's like absolutely crushing over Pash.
Yes.
It's
which was
really funny.
So funny. And it like took me a second to remember. Pash straight up shot her.
Yes, I forgot that. You forget completely
You're
about
totally
that.
right. I completely forgot. And the best part is the way she's crushing is the full like giggles.
Yes.
The like
Heart
full
throbbed
like
romantically.
Like, Pash looks at her and she's over there like,
It's all so stereotypical, right? Like, the Pash is like an archetype of like the cool, doesn't give a shit, trying too hard. And then later on, like having to model herself as being like cool and independent, she's thinking about like how Hot Sauce walks. And I was just like, again, Hot Sauce straight up shot her in the head. Nona holds no grudge.
She will love hot sauce forever, in the gang or not.
My takeaway was that nobody in these chapters knows fucking anything. Like, it's just, there's just huge gaps in terms. So, like, Ianthe doesn't know that Calamity is still alive.
Doesn't know that it's Pyrrha.
Doesn't know that it's not Harrow.
So exciting.
Colin and Cam know basically nothing about Nona in terms of, like, they're still trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Like, they don't know anything about, like, Electo or, like, anything there. Like, they don't understand the connection with the RB. It's just, everybody knows nothing about something. Everyone's in, like, a dark room with a flashlight, and they're all pointing at different things.
it also does make it pretty delicious to read and be like, why are they acting that way? And you're like, oh, because they know fucking nothing. Got it.
Yeah.
Just like we do.
Cool.
It's amazing.
Yes.
John, we know nothing, and yet we know more than any one of them.
That's true.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
I actually, and this is weird for me, I have never pitied Ianthe before, but during this chapter, I
feel a
actually
little bit
have
bad
this
for her.
moment. And you know what it is? It's because I love to talk to people. I love to have a like fun conversation. And she is sitting there doing all of the work and no one is giving her anything. And it was like, I'm sitting there dying because she's, you know, she's like trying to get in. She's doing sassy
flamboyant and
comments.
she's
She's having
sassy.
exactly. And literally everyone is basically giving her monosyllabic answers. No one gives a fuck. And she's like, this is the least fun I've ever had. And I just really understood Ianthe in that moment. That's my takeaway.
Hannah, you haven't walked into that situation after threatening devastation.
It's true.
You don't know that, Brooke, but no, I have not.
My favorite things in these chapters is the things about Camilla. So I especially love the way that she's using the glasses, which is the same way that Pyrrha used the glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's right. I couldn't figure that out. Thank you. That's what it is.
It's important that you can't see my eyes. Although, who knows if, like, Ianthe cared enough to notice the eyes beforehand. Yeah.
Especially their
I
eye
would've said
colors
no,
aren't
there's
like
no
super
way.
strong or distinct, right? Yeah.
Right, but it's not just for Ianthe, and Crown probably would. And so it's but it's also like these very dry, like very short replies. Also, I think to hide the affect so that nobody could know if they're switching.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many interesting things about eyes in this chapter. They talk about, like, they put the film over the eyes to try to prevent the light, like the sunglasses.
The eyes have it. Okay,
And
anyway,
the
that
eyes
brings
are
us straight
like
to
the whole Lictor thing, right? Like, you switch
There's a
There's
lot
something.
happening here.
Yes, there's something. I don't know what it is.
But there's
But it's
something. If we have a meme, that is our meme. There's something there.
I feel like my murder board at this point is just, there's no actual string connecting things. It's just like I have a thousand things stuck to the murder board.
Just Post-it notes and no
Post-it
string.
notes and no string. And that's kind of where I'm at
Shit.
this point.
I feel that. Okay, we have some memes. And I am so grateful to Hannah for this because I forgot about them and I didn't know a couple of them. So actually, I'm going to have you explain them, Hannah.
No, I don't remember these at all. I just copied them from our spreadsheet. So it's possible either one of us put them in, and I have no idea.
It was you. It was you. Okay, it's fine. Let's start with the easy ones. So there's
I
Pay
don't
the
even
Piper.
know. I don't know this nursery rhyme at all. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, there's Pay the Piper, right? Which
The Pied Piper of Hamelin.
if you don't pay the piper, then oops. There's Shock and Awe,
Ugh.
which in the current climate, let's just move right past.
Wait, but that was also funny because that was in the context. This was Cam saying it to Ianthe.
Well, Ianthe says it first, doesn't she?
Well, she's the saint of awe, and then so it's very funny to me when Cam looks at her and says that her swords are shock and awe, basically. I was just like, one up and the saint of awe. The saint of shock and awe.
That's funny. I didn't even think about it in that context. I like that a lot. I also love the concept of fist names.
Then we have this nursery rhyme. So this is when, Ianthe says something to Camilla, and Camilla's like, yeah, I don't care. And Ianthe's just so sick of everybody, like, not giving her anything. And she says, don't care was made to care, don't care was hung, which is from a nursery rhyme. And this is a real fucked up nursery rhyme. The nursery rhyme is, don't care didn't care, don't care was wild, don't care stole plum and pear like any beggar's child, don't care was made to care, don't care was hung, don't care was put in a pot and boiled till he was done.
Jesus Christ.
Fucked up This is from the UK. That makes sense. That tracks.
No, come on. All of the nursery rhymes are insanely horrifying.
Ring around the rosy?
Yeah, but that's only horrifying because of like the actual. Well, no, I guess we all
Where
fall
the
down.
ashes come
You're
from?
right. You're right. There's something there.
Yeah. What is this?
I think it's very much like
Why?
when little kids were like, well, I don't care. Don't care was made to care.
Yeah, and then was boiled alive. It's not a good time. Maybe you should care. Everyone should care.
Here's the thing. When you were a kid, did you ever understand a single nursery rhyme?
No, of course not.
I knew about the Ring Around the Rosie. I learned that one real early.
Well, so I learned the historical context, but I never thought about the specifics. I never thought about
when you're
what
singing
ashes
you're
all
not
fall down
interpreting
means.
the lesson.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought about
You
it. Yeah, and I stopped playing Ring Around the Rosie.
That's really funny. So this is so fucking dumb, but I've been like singing songs to my kid and I don't like when they're incorrect. So I've started changing the lyrics so that they're more accurate because sometimes the biology is wrong.
Oh no!
Anyway, that's all.
What's an example?
I've been singing him I Gave My Love a Cherry That Has No Stone. It's the riddle song. There's a great version by Joan Baez, but one of them is How Can There Be a Chicken That Has No Bone? And they say a chicken when it's pippin', which is a chicken when it's like trying to hatch, has no bone. And that's not true. It has bone. It has
they
mostly
got bones.
cartilage, but it has some bone. And so I have changed it to an egg when it's been laid. It has no bone, which is correct. You're welcome. The last
Christ.
meme here is it's impossible, and what's more, it's improbable. And what's interesting to me is that for me, impossible and improbable go quite immediately to Sherlock Holmes, the idea of when you've eliminated the possible, whatever's left, must be true. But that's not actually what this reference is. And so I don't know if you found this, Marie, or if I Googled this and was like, oh,
I
this
think
is
you
actually a
Googled it and
thing.
found it.
It turns out it's from like the Anne of Green Gables universe from Anne of the Island. And there's a part where, as Uncle Mark says, it's impossible. And what's more, it's improbable, which is exactly what Augustine says, right?
Used to say. Okay, there's one more layer to this, is that the whole thing is this is a friend of Anne's. They have grown up, and she's saying that, like, basically, like, there's this old pastor or whatever, and so says she's in love with him. Like, this is the friend writing to Anne. Then the friend says, somebody says, I'm in love with him, and it's impossible, and what's more, it's improbable that I'm in love with this man. And then the PS to the letter says, but it's true. It's impossible, but it's true.
Yeah. Well, I like this. There's something there.
There's something there. Okay.
Yeah. What about Kiwi Corner? It looks like you have some stuff.
We have a combined Kiwi Corner and SAT prep. So I think the Kiwi Corner is, Nona says at some point she thought she had bogged it. And I feel it's like pretty, like, you can figure out what that means. But I think that's like, that's Aussie slang. You got it stuck. You fucked it up. Like, you bogged it.
There are a lot of bogs in
I was
New
just wondering
Zealand.
that too.
I think you can just get bogged down. So not necessarily that there's a bog, but that you can get your car stuck,
Checks out.
in the mud. so you're bogged.
I like it.
And then when Crown is calling for the duel, she says, point blade Picasso offhand.
A neo-realistic painting of cheese, but it's not.
I'm sorry, what? Picasso and ricotta?
Oh, ricotta.
Is that what you were
Ricotta
saying?
Picasso. Ricotta
No,
Picasso.
weak.
Okay.
Weak.
Bad.
Oh, that one was bad. That one was really bad.
What a ricasso actually is the part of the blade after the hilt that is not sharpened. So it's like basically counting down. Point, blade, ricasso, offhand.
Got it.
Okay.
Call.
Okay.
Now you know. Okay, so with
Thanks
that.
for teaching us.
So with that, let's cut our hair and practice our screaming as we present Nona the Ninth, episode 14, Die Quick, Die Cold, Bring 'em With You. Act 2, We Are Our Swords.
This section of Frontline 5th is safe for anyone who hasn't read past chapter 23 in Nona the Ninth.
Let's recap. Chapter 22. Broken Ninth House Skull. Nona as Nona Jessimus. Camilla straps on her sword. Into the barracks.
Chapter 23, Sixth House Skull. Ianthe is not having a good day. Nona watches a duel, match to the sixth.
If you'll remember, dear listener, Ianthe is holed up in the barracks with Coronabeth, the semi-conscious Judith Deuteros, Pyrrha pretending to be Giddy 1, and the dead-ass corpse of Giddy 2. If Camilla and Palamides can get Gideon Nav's body to BOE, they can trade for the kidnapped 6th House contingent, and importantly, perhaps they can save Nona, who is dying. Whew, what a relief to say that finally. But the only way that they are going to get inside is to give Ianthe what she wants, which is Camilla Hecht and Harrow Hark Nona Jessimus. And Harrow is sort of unavailable right now, but luckily they've got her body on tap, which is why Nona ends up clothed all in black, her hair cut off, and her eyes dyed gray and white.
I just now thought of something, which is that a couple chapters back, Camilla says basically Corona's not going to be able to lie to Ianthe. But actually, this is proof that Corona does successfully lie to Ianthe about Harrow still existing and Harrow still existing on the planet. Corona absolutely knows that Nona is Nona, but Ianthe definitely doesn't kind of like pull that. It takes very little to fool her here until the end of this chapter when she starts to become suspicious.
I suppose you could say, though, that like a lie of omission's a little bit different than
A
lying
deliberate lie.
with words.
I would also just say that
probably
like
true.
nobody really knows what Nona is, right? Like it could just be that they think
Yeah.
that it's like mind wiped Harrow or like
It's
Like,
possible.
is it
And-
Harrow or not?
And
Yeah.
also Corona's been like out of like less connected, right? Like she's not staying with them anymore. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, partial lie, partial just again unreliable narrators or partial information.
I feel like Ianthe would be somebody who would be incredibly easy to lie to because you just you just let her talk.
Yes.
And
Yes.
let her assume what she's going to assume, and
Come
you don't
her
have to
own
say a damn
conclusions.
thing.
Mhm.
Totally
Yeah,
true.
You can
Totally
just
true.
confirm.
All it takes is a little push and just let her go.
So Tessa Von Wing is in overdrive getting ready for the operation, but the only ones willing to be in the same room as Nona are We Suffer and Pash, looking hot as hell. And I love the little moment here where Pash is like, I've taken down their names, they're never going to move up anywhere. And We Suffer is like, you misuse your powers abominably.
I also actually, this is where we find out that the reason that Pash carries machetes is because she's trying to like emulate or get in the head of the 9 houses who carry swords, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of think that's
She says that. You
fascinating.
think that's true?
I don't know. I just think it's interesting the degree to which the 9 houses are sword pilled and the degree to which everybody on this planet thinks it's weird or is surprised by it. Like one of the things Hot Sauce said was that, her brother was freaked out and surprised by the sword and she's not going to be surprised by it. So she practices with it.
I didn't realize until you said it, like that started talking about it, that's exactly how I interpreted Pash, was the same way that Hassas is like, I practice with swords so that I won't freak out because
I think you're
I'm
right.
going to be on their level.
in many ways probably more intimidating to have somebody screaming at you with a sword when you have never practiced that and you're used to a
gun.
not just
Well,
a gun,
it's kind
but
of
like a long range
distance,
weapon,
a ranged weapon. Yeah, it's also kind of an inversion of what we expect. And, bringing a knife to a gunfight is like bad. And in this case, bringing a gun to a knife fight is like the scary, you are less well armed kind of version. Anyway.
I practice with swords so that when I meet a pirate, I can kill it.
I can kill it. Thank you so much, Will Turner. I love pirates. We should watch that movie. Oh, can we do that for a bonus? Okay.
Well, there's partially. Well, we got undead. We got zombies. We got undead. Like
there's a lot.
Yes.
There's a lot there.
Perfect.
Okay. So Cam and Pal are busy writing back and forth to each other during this preparation. We Suffer has coordinated the breaching of one of Mervwing's cells, and soon they will know where the sixth house is, and We Suffer will either be a conquering hero to whom everything is forgiven, or she will have to shoot herself.
And she's been very good at not having to shoot herself.
She has been very...
She's
something like that.
Yeah.
She has not
She's
had
gotten used to not having to.
And Nona just has to figure out how to be a hero.
This is hilarious, by the way. This is like the training montage I've always wanted, where it's just like we're gonna work through how to be hero. It's just great.
Yeah, and I like Pal. He did this so simply. He goes, pretend like you're figuring out how to kill me. More eyebrows. Perfect.
And then he goes, good God, I miss her terribly.
So cute.
Harrow Hark Nonagesimus lived by rules. Nona needs to stand up straight, never smile or giggle at Pash, and only answer to Nonagesimus or Harrow, and she needs to pretend to be blind. This last part is pure theory. Part of the blue madness that comes from proximity to Varun is transmitted through the visual spectrum. She's supposed to answer curtly and rudely, and whenever she's asked something difficult, she's supposed to act like the captain. And Nona was going to say lying down, but decided probably now was not the time to joke. So instead, she's supposed to act like she has the blue madness. And ultimately, her main job was to be a distraction, which is apparently what Hera was as well.
It's always the quiet ones.
I had never realized that Nona's name might actually come from Nonagesimus, or if that's just like a coincidence.
I think it's a combo of many things, right? I mean, it's got the 9 prefix, and then, they say that it was because her first words were no.
That's right. But yeah, no, in the end, the only thing she responds to is the one that has a part of her name in it.
Yeah.
Pash drops Nona and Cam off a little way from the barracks, and Cam straps on her swords.
I promise, actually, at this point, I was not trying to do it. I think it just was in my head as a normal phrase at this point. I think the first one was intentional, and this is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone.
You should not be sorry. I think it's just me at this point.
It really is.
Anyway, she straps on her swords and all of her knives with a genuine sigh of relief.
Well, okay.
And Pash, surprisingly, sends them on their way with some gruff encouragement. Die quick, die cold, bring them with you. Inside the barracks, Cam and Nona, trying to act brave and distant and haughty as possible, find themselves in a long hall with Ianthe Nibirius, Crown, and Pyrrha, backed by dozens and dozens of dead soldiers, standing guard, twitching with Ianthe's twitches, and apparently it does smell very interesting in there.
Do you guys think that she reanimated these after landing?
Yes.
I think
That's
so.
Gross.
We don't know how long they've been dead.
Yeah.
And it's probably variable.
At one point, Nona sees them and they've got like pieces falling off. So like they were,
I mean, we've been hanging out on this planet with the barracks being under siege for how long?
6 months.
Well, at least 6 months.
Well, but the barracks weren't always under siege, were they?
No, but I would have
You're
guessed
right.
it's at
Something
least a couple
changed like a
months.
month or two ago. But frankly, any body that's been dead more than about 3 days, I think, is post reanimation. That's when your sell by date is, that's when you burn that corpse, in my less than humble opinion.
Ianthe tries to make conversation. She's hoping that they'll trade some saucy quips, but frankly, it's tough going. Nona is only answering in yes or no, and Camilla is peak, clipped, and brusque. God wants the sixth house back. He was deeply shocked when he found out that the entire sixth house station was portable.
Weren't we all?
The fun fact.
Ianthe, for her part, could not give a fuck about the sixth. I've read Sixth House juvenile moral novels about very smart children who save the day with logic, and I think you can all go drown.
I loved that. I thought that was a great line.
Wow.
Yep.
She has every intention of killing off the sixth house leadership. No one will ever know. it's called applying the fucking boot.
That was alarmingly well done, Marie.
I actually love this. The amount of coaches that would tell you that you have to like put your boot on their neck as like a motivational thing in high school or
I'm
like
sorry,
in like
what?
youth sports. It's like basically like if you're
Really?
up on a team, don't take it easy. Like continue trying to like beat them.
Bleak.
And like
Don't
I would
love
say at least several coaches have said that like some version of the phrase of like keep the boot on their neck as like a
Nuh-uh.
we're up,
Nope.
like keep doing it.
What a totally reasonable thing to say to a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
Of course, the situation is made all the worse for poor Ianthe, the real tragic put upon hero of the series.
See?
When Camilla tells her that the sixth house departed because of instructions left to them by Cassiopeia the First.
Dun dun dun.
If God hears that yet another one of his duplicitous sluts betrayed him, he's never going to come back from it. This is shitty.
Dibs on that as a band name.
Sluts.
Yeah, that's a killer band name.
You're absolutely right. That is fabulous. It is completely
Duplicitous
fabulous.
sluts has like rung through my brain ever since I read it the first time.
Yeah. But it also is entirely accurate. We've talked about this before,
Yes.
but at this point, like the number of lictors who betrayed God is comically high to the point where you wonder if he's ever had any friends who didn't ultimately go, fuck you.
It's only Gideon, right? Like Gideon the First?
I mean,
Well,
as far as we know, but we also don't know how intentionally he kept
But
Kira
also-
locked away.
Wait,
Like, I don't
wait,
know.
sorry, he was...
Commander Wake, so I don't
That's
know.
right. You're right. Nope, you're right.
Again, that's right. Actually, so Commander Wake was having an affair with both of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I feel
at
like
this
Giddy
point-
One is up
Yeah.
there on the list of duplicitous sluts.
He might be at the
Okay,
top,
yeah.
actually.
Well,
I mean-
I feel like
Mercy
it was
killed
mostly
him.
Kira.
This is good. This is good. But he was putting the slut part in the duplicitous sluts. So, you know,
Yes.
from a technical standpoint, I think Giddy One takes it.
Shitty or not, Ianthe is no dummy, and something is weird. Harrow's never this quiet, nor this passive. And she's completely right with that. Nona has no idea how to respond to this, though, so she just acts like the captain as instructed, and she screams. It's a frankly bonkers kind of scream. It literally makes the electric lights sizzle, and when she looks up from screaming, because it kind of made her go down as well. There's clearly been some chaos, but we don't know exactly what happened. Some of the dead soldiers are now really dead on the floor. Camilla has drawn her knives, but she's being held back by several of Ianthe's dead puppets, as is Crown. Well, Crown isn't being held back, but she's being flanked by them. Pyrrha's on the floor scrabbling for her gun. And Ianthe has reached the end of her never very long rope. Her puppets hold Nona's jaw closed, and they are going the fuck home. Fuck this noise. Fuck the sixth house. We out. And at this point, Camilla is a bit superfluous. Ianthe says she can either kill Cam here or take off her arms and legs and pack her up for interrogation later.
Oh man, I wish I could remember. I wish I had put in the quote here, but Ianthe still blames Camilla for not saving her from getting her arm cut off, and she says something about how she's holding some intense and frankly misplaced anger. I was-
Irrational grudge, yeah. Oh my god, what an unstable human.
yeah.
Maybe it's interesting that she knows it's misplaced.
Yeah.
anyway,
Self-awareness only
the
goes so
threats-
far.
Yeah, the threat's pretty unhinged.
Cam thinks about her response to this and comes back with something totally unhinged. Way back at Canaan House, Ianthe challenged the sixth house to a duel for their keys, and it never happened. And Camilla is now accepting that challenge. A duel. If Cam loses, she dies. If she wins, she walks away.
I really love this energy of like Ianthe gives like two options and Cam is like, what about the third one? And Ianthe's like, motherfuck.
Ianthe is no dummy, and she refuses, saying, not only is that fishy, but it's unoriginal. The outnumbered, overpowered hero against the narcissistic villain. Yuck.
Again, self-awareness only goes so far.
I'm here for it.
And that's when Corona raises the stakes. She cocks Pyrrha's gun and puts it to her own throat. Ianthe has to duel Camilla, or Corona really will shoot herself this time.
We should talk about that too, because this is insidious that Corona recurrently over the course of their childhood has threatened to kill herself. In like, what an insane, horrific torture for her twin. You know, like it's actually
Their
unthinkable.
relationship, You guys I don't know if you just have this conversation because it feels far more close to how we are as people, the Cam and Pal relationship being like an obsession that you guys argue about regularly.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. Totally fine relative to...
Yes, I completely agree. Cam
Corona
and
and
Pal
Agatha.
are the healthiest people in the world. And then you see, what's also funny because in about 2 chapters, they've been described, Pal is like, I could see why you would think that was her boyfriend. And then we're finding out that she regularly threatens suicide. It's so dark. And
Fucked up.
And separately, I don't know, but I have this feeling that Corona is so horrifically torn in her whole life that it's partially a real threat, that there's a part of her that wishes she did not have to continue on the path that she's decided for herself. She seems like she's constantly trying to get someone to let her or force her to be off the hook and to go in a different direction. She'd rather be a cavalier. She'd rather, not even have to be alive. But it's still like, I literally cannot think of something worse that you could do to someone who loves you than do this continuously.
Yeah. They're just so fucked up. I think this is especially on this reread, this is a chapter where I was like, there's a lot here, and these two are even worse than I thought.
They're having a tough time.
Their
really
dynamic
gross.
is just getting weirder and weirder.
So
gross.
fucking weird. The duel is pretty fucking epic. And as always, Tamsin is a master choreographer, but ultimately, Prince Ianthe Nibirius stabs Camilla in the belly, and Camilla sprawls on the carpet, bleeding out, her hand grasped around the wrist of Nibirius' turn, and she says, "Match to the 6th." And Ianthe's eyes roll back, and she falls to the ground.
I was just picturing like that when somebody gets like thrown out of a body or something, or like an event in like a cartoon or a movie where it's just like she gets like thrown backwards against a wall, and he just like gets up and is super pissed. And like, I'm like, God help whatever cohort ship she's actually on, because she's about to like probably
herself,
probably
like,
murder some people. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Wow, look at you thinking about the side characters.
Yeah.
Man, I've really missed dueling. Remember when this was a haunted house murder mystery series?
Me neither.
Time for a game. Interstitial. This isn't the time, you dumb, hilarious bitch! It's hard to see how things could possibly turn out well for our heroes. It's so easy to just say, everything's fine. But as Ianthe says, honey, stop telling people things are going to be fine. Things are, I promise you, not going to be fine. Things are frankly going to be antonyms of fine. I think it's time we all start being a little more honest with each other, which is why in this week's game we are generating negative platitudes. So, in this game, I've asked each of our hosts to come up with a way of casually reassuring someone that things are really and truly not going well. Do you want to start us out, Brooke?
Oh my gosh, I've always had a favorite. I feel like as an existentialist at heart, I'm really good at these. I use them regularly. My favorite one is always, well, life sucks and then you die, but then they put dirt on you, and then the worms eat you.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
What a little extra.
That was lovely.
How about you, John?
I'm pretty sure this is like a Pratchett-ism. It was ringing around in my brain. I'm like, I think Terry Pratchett wrote this, but I didn't Google it, so it might be. But it's definitely like in that tree, which is like, it could be going worse, but only slightly, and it would be less interesting.
I like that a lot.
It certainly has Pratchett energy.
Yeah.
I literally walked into my lab course Thursday morning and said, everybody panic! And then just like,
get out. Literally the last thing anybody's supposed to say. Wow.
I'm going to go.
They were just kind of like, everybody just kind of paused and stopped and looked at me. And then they were
No
like,
one
that's
laughed.
just her.
I would have laughed.
They were just kind of like, this is business as usual. And then they just waited to see what was next.
I'm going to go with a very simple one, which is just, we'll never make it. Turn back now.
Turn back now. That's so dark. I'll take it a little lighter and friendly. I've always liked saying misery loves company.
at least shit's fucked and we're doing it together.
Everything's
That's
not okay.
That's my next
That's
one.
yours.
Shit's fucked. Yeah, I love that.
Shit's fucked.
I think I
Short,
saw you
sweet,
type that
concise.
in, and then it was just in my brain. So I'm sorry that I stole it, John. I'm really
Oh,
sorry.
I love
It's
it.
fine.
Shit's
Misery.
fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Misery loves company.
My platitudes are anytime that anybody asks me how things are going or how I'm doing is I'm like, everything's fine. I'm living the dream.
No, I don't think that's the right way to go about it. You're supposed to tell them very authentically how you're feeling.
Everything's fine.
you know,
I'm
shit's
living
fucked.
the dream.
Life sucks and then you die.
I mean, we could do the exact antonym too, Marie, where you're like, everything is awful. I am in a living nightmare. Like,
Shit's fucked.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm in living hell.
I'm going to go with a specific one, which is you say, do you remember those nightmares where you're naked and your crush is in front of you and you trip over something? That's this.
My dad always taught me to remember that the second law of thermodynamics dictates that over time, everything goes to shit.
Yeah.
I actually really like that. I really like that quite a lot.
You guys would
I
like
was
that.
raised existential. John, do you have any more?
Yeah, something dead horse, which I really like.
That's very, very good.
Quite how that. I
think that's...
yeah.
Although at this rate, maybe,
Don't beat a dead horse.
Maybe we can switch it to at this point something dead cow. Honestly,
Yeah.
Oh, keep it thematic.
Yeah. My next one was I was promised a handbasket.
I love that. I feel like that's beautiful. Going to hell in a handbasket? I really like that. I'm sorry.
I
Marie
literally
and I.
saw this as a bumper. Yeah, I literally saw this as a bumper sticker, and it took me a second, and then I was like, "Yeah,
Yep.
I
Oh, that's good.
was. I was promised a handbasket. Where's my fucking
This
handbasket?"
is bullshit. Okay, and then I'm going to close this out. I'm going to close this out on one of my dad's favorite sayings. So my dad loves this so much that one of his former graduate students, when she graduated, gave him a pen inscribed with this, which is, every choice you make leads you one step closer to death.
Yeah, see?
I feel so much better.
Yeah, we all feel so much better, right? You feel
Yeah, that's
totally
good.
jazzed up for some rampant speculation.
I do.
Act 3, more eyebrows.
I don't need more eyebrows.
Me neither.
Brooke and John aren't just great at befriending dogs, they're also brilliant conspiracy theorists. So Brooke and John, what the fuck is happening?
Okay, John, you were picking up on eyes throughout this too. I thought there was such a funny line that, like, again, one of these like throwaway things that like don't know what we're missing. Nona, they talk about like eyes make the blue madness more accessible or something,
Yeah.
right? I don't know, whatever that's all about. And Nona, there's this line about like Nona like this triggers something in her memory or something, but she can't figure out what. You're like, what?
Yep. Yep.
I don't know what we're supposed to be thinking about
another
there.
Post-it with no string attaching it to anything except eyes right now. It's just
Yeah. But then I had the thought, so like basically what they're doing is they're like pretending that she's blinded herself and that this works to keep her from like full blue madness, right? Like that's the whole shtick they're going about here, which is creative, and Ianthe like kind of buys it, right? And she says, oh, this is kind of impressive. Not the work, but like the concept.
Do we think there's any actual truth to it, or do we think it's all made up?
I wonder, because so then the next thing I thought about was that God's eyes are fully black. And I wonder if this is like
With
a
a
defense
white
mechanism.
ring, right?
Yeah, which I don't know
Yes.
if that's just like to make it look like a whale, but like that's similar to what they were doing to Ianthe's or to Harrow's eyes, to Nona's eyes. So I don't know if there's something there. Anyway, okay, any other thoughts on eyes?
No, I mean,
No strings.
eyes are like one of the most important things in this entire series, right? It's like one of the first hints we get, with lictors. It's, how you can determine who's actually in control of a body, throughout I feel like we've said this 1,000 times during Nona, but I'm going to say it again. There's something there. We just don't know what it is.
Not useful.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it seems like this chapter 23 has gone like all according to Cam's plan so far, right? Like we got Ianthe disabled. I think so. It seems like they were suggesting that this was like a switching over to PAL moment, right? That there's like unexpected cheat necromancy to disable her from Babs.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was my thought. It's just like when Camilla touches Babs, like does the necromancy to kick him out, and then it's supposed to be like a little bit nerve-wracking because Cam just got stabbed, but also like we know that Pal can just heal it off. But it is also just kind of like goes back to their dynamic, and also just like her carrying him around, which is just like, yep, just another scar for Cam, like, and the pain and everything. Like she has to get stabbed for his part of his plan, which is, yeah, it's just
their plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's this moment where it like she gets knocked down and it says that she's like laying there awkwardly, and I think that's our like clue that Pal's kicked in right there because he doesn't know how to catch himself in a fall or something like that.
Yeah.
So sorry,
I
guess said it gets knocked down,
cool.
and I immediately went, I get knocked down,
and I get up,
I get up again. Sorry. Please continue.
Millennial-coded podcast.
Please continue.
Anyway, okay, so things seem like they're going to plan, right? That's cool. Has that ever happened before?
That
Not
things
really.
go according to plan?
No. Which
No,
means
they
all
never
hell's about
have.
to break loose. So, wait, and that actually brings me
Although
to
Pal's plans always kind of turn out. I mean, he got himself stuck around. Anyway, we'll see.
We now have multiple empty shell bodies just hanging out. Like, Babs.
Oh God, that's what you're talking about.
Babs' shell is there, and also Gideon's body's there.
Gideon's body seems to be pretty immune.
So, yeah,
Babs'
we have a
shell-
bunch of empty shells floating.
So what the fuck? Okay, what the fuck happened in Gideon the Ninth that made that particular scenario happen? I think that was because they were in Canaan House. I think that was like a scenario that was unique to the circumstances of Canaan House in whatever way that we've talked about in the past. You think it's like, you know, like anchored on this like opening of the river or something. Like, I think that because there have been empty bodies constantly. There's dead bodies everywhere. Like, this is not a normal risk for them to be invaded. Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, I was just saying, like, now we have a shell to potentially, because we still, right? Gideon's should be empty, and like, we still know where Gideon's soul is if it's like buried in Harrow, right? Like, we now have, like, maybe her body calls back the soul now that it's like no longer being puppeted by Ianthe.
Oh, my suspicion was not.
Or
I don't. Maybe
Harrow?
you've interpreted this different than me. My idea of what Cam and Pal expected to happen was not that Gideon goes back to her body, but rather that like this third entity, Nona, ends up. I think that Gideon
they think it's a soul.
is
crystal,
no
right?
longer able to be separated out from Harrow. I could be wrong. Maybe that's right.
One of the themes in this book is just like everyone's souls are kind of in the wrong body. So like knowing how this is going to go, it's going to be Harrow ends up in Gideon's body, and Nona ends up in freaking Babs's body.
Ew! Don't say that. Can you imagine the personality of Pal walking around in Babs's body?
Sorry,
No, I'm
this
saying,
is
I'm,
like
saying, I'm saying Harrow ends up there.
Oh,
Like I'm saying, like
yeah, but it
everyone's,
doesn't
like,
matter.
switching
There's
to other-
something really funny about this, and you can imagine if that did happen, like in a movie version of this, how comical it would be to watch people play. You know, like someone's affect inside a
Each
totally
other.
different.
You
Yeah,
remember the Scooby-Doo movie, Terror Island or whatever it is?
of course I do. I love that movie. That's where I discovered Isla Fisher. Go on.
Yeah.
wow.
There's an entire scene where they switch bodies and they're like figuring it out, and then like they all switch it again. Like they have to play through like all the other actors being in different bodies. It's very funny.
Oh, it's probably all about the gender swap.
Actually, we really should consider watching that as well because it does have Sarah Michelle Gellar and what's her face, her husband. God damn it. Yep. Thank you. There's no follow up.
Wow.
So
Those are
yeah.
some throwbacks.
So yeah, no,
Okay.
we just have like a bunch of like lictor bodies laying around.
So Soul Scramble coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe. Interesting idea. Terrifying. Okay, then there's some other things that I don't know, I'm just thinking about like what is the angel doing here? Like why was she insistent about tagging along? I also went back to that like day 4 like summary at the very beginning of however many chapters back, and we're due to see the convoy, which I am super stoked about. because that's just been thrown around as this menacing force for this entire book without any clues.
Yep.
Anyway, so I think there's some Planet New Row special stuff coming up,
Yeah.
you know, around 75% of the way into the book.
We also have like a functional transport, right? Because, you know,
Mhm,
like
a shuttle.
part of this issue is that we know Nona's going to die. And then when she dies, she's no longer on the planet. And so the resurrection beast that eats planets has just been chilling up there. So like, what happens when she dies? Does he just eat the planet?
But
And we're all in, or like
Nona
try to
dying-
murder the lictors?
Nona dying doesn't seem like it's gonna be the normal kind of dying
Yeah.
to me. I guess I haven't really grappled with that idea.
Okay, with
Does she-
love,
does she-
Brooke, what the fuck is the normal kind of dying in this world?
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to go into the river. And
I'm just saying, we've seen no one die normally. Calamities explodes, turns up in a different, you know, in a bubble and then in a body.
everybody else in Canaan House ends up being resurrected as a
wait.
ghost.
Do we continue the fucking? Does Nona go to Gideon's body?
That's what I was saying. That's my thought.
Like
is
Nona
that
snaps to
ends up-
Gideon's body. Gideon takes over Harrow's
Especially
body, and then
since-
Harrow's in Electo's body.
Oh God, you think that it like Pal's sitting there is being like, oh, proximity should just like what was it? What was the
Soul
terminology he
gravity or
used?
something.
Yeah, but not, yeah. And so we're getting us because I still
You think
think Harrow's sitting in the
Requires
tomb,
the sword.
right? Like I think she's sitting in
Yes,
the tomb.
I think Harrow has basically just been like, not fucking dealing with this shit for now, taking a break,
So yeah,
and
Good
she
for
can
her.
come back and reoccupy her body at any time.
so we get it all switched. Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, I'm so interested about the convoy. And again, I feel like is this just like a red herring that we've gone down this path, and it was just like a weird throwaway thing?
The white eyes, what the shit?
Yeah, we also haven't found out what the hell's going on in Antioch because it sounds like it's really not going well. Like,
Yeah, and what the fuck? What is anybody doing on other planets? Like
Well-
again, like this has been our question since literally like the first chapter of fucking Gideon the Ninth. Of like, what are we doing on other planets? What does the house have to do with other planets? What are they getting from it? Why are they at war? How come these wars aren't super one-sided? If it's not against other necromancers?
yeah. And maybe it all goes back to why they use swords. Like, is it really just that God needs more death juice going out into the universe, like at all times? Like, it's really just like the kind of like the concept of entropy, except it's just like death juice. Like, they just need death juice out into the universe. Because like we talked about like swords and how Blood of Eden is always just like, why did like, you know, the swords are weird. Just like swords are like truly just an inferior weapon to guns, like in pretty much like every possible way. And so like why?
Except
Unless
for elegance.
yes. Like, unless they turn into lightsabers and you can reflect bullets back. But like, it's just like guns are just better. Like they're just they're purposely letting these people die through less good weapon. I don't know. It's again, we have 1,000 pieces and I have no answers.
It's a little confusing. Yeah, I don't think it's going to fit neatly into our expectations
Yeah.
of how things work.
This book is infinitely more confusing than the first two. And maybe it's just because we have more foundational knowledge now to like understand why it's confusing. And like that, we definitely have talked about this like several episodes ago, but it's like we're like Dunning-Krugering our way through this book. Like, did we really just like not know it? We just didn't know anything in the first book, so we weren't aware of how. And now we know just enough to know that we know nothing, and it's so annoying because we kind of have pieces, but we don't know how they all fit together.
I agree, John. I think we owe our patrons an apology because we haven't been murder boarding, and that's simply because we don't got no string.
So I will say that I have two things to say. One is a correction to John. They don't really use bullets in Star Wars, and I feel like a lightsaber would slice through a bullet. It reflects blasters. It's about
That's
laser
what-
light. It's really about
Yeah,
reflecting
that's-
light. I mean, come on, let's say
Lasers are at the top of this hierarchy.
No, that's what I'm saying. Swords
So
are
the
useless
other
unless they can
thing-
reflect bullets, in which case they're laser bullets. Yeah.
Laser bullets.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say is that one of the things I'm truly looking forward to, and we are getting close now, we're going to do 19 episodes that will encompass this book. This is episode 14. And after that, one of the things we're going to do is have at least one episode where the four of us murder board together. And we'll do it maybe as I don't know if we're going to do it as video or just as podcast, but I'm so fucking excited for us to actually all get together with all of our knowledge at the end of this book and try and connect some of those strings, because you are right. They are distant. You got to stretch really hard and strain your groin to get from one stepping stone to the other, but it is worth it. And I'm looking forward to doing it all together.
That'll be fun.
Yep.
Okay, I have nothing else.
Yep.
Well, I guess we'll see if any of those things happen next time when John and Brooke start kissing corpses.
No.
Nona the Ninth, Chapter 24 and 25.
We're going giddy one.
Exactly. What's the original sin? What the fuck does they call it? Doesn't matter. Real quick. Listeners, listen up. Are you listening, listeners? Listeners, it's me, Hannah. We are looking for ideas of what to do in between finishing Nona the Ninth and when Electo the First comes out. So please, please, please send us some emails, or you can write on Patreon or whatever. Get in contact with us. Send it on Instagram. Send it on TikTok. What books would you like to see us do as really mini short book clubs between these two books? And if you prefer, what TV shows? Because I fucking love TV shows. So please send us those wherever you can. And then we will send out some sort of poll and figure out what we're going to do between these two books. It's going to be epic. It's going to be dope. I'm really looking forward to it. Hannah out.
And if you, dear listener, are, like me and John, reading along for the first time, make sure you find our reading calendar on our website, frontline5th.podbean.com, or follow us on Instagram or TikTok. To support us, you can buy merch or join a Patreon, all of which are linked in the show notes. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends and give us a 5-star rating anywhere you can. And if you didn't like it, feel free to lie. Now head off to sleep, my baby necros. Mommy and Daddy have some deep spoilers to discuss.
Get in, losers. We're going speculating.
Act 4. Crack the Sky, Troy S.L.
Warning. This portion of the podcast is 98% spoilers and like 2% snickering.
Seriously, we will spoil anything and everything in the series up through Nona the Ninth. If that's not what you want, turn back now.
I'm going to be honest, they're going to be a little bit disappointed because the next two chapters do not get us all the way to the convoy and Paul, which is the episode after. It'll be our episode 16.
But
It's fine. They'll survive.
They'll survive. I do quite enjoy that they're like, how weird would it be to have Pal in Nibirius's body?
Yes, sorry. They're so smart and they hit so many interesting things. Actually, before I forget, I really want to follow up on some of the things they were talking about in terms of like why you get the devil thing in Column versus not in other places. And I think we don't totally know that answer, but I actually liked the idea that it's about being in Canaan House because we think Canaan House is anchored in the river in some meaningful way. And similarly, when they're passing physically through the river the first time in Harrow the Ninth, and Mercy basically says, if you
can't have
your body,
you can't have empty body. We'll kill you.
That's exactly right. Yeah. So
I think it's maybe like how close you are to the river or whether or not you have a conduit to the river. Because it's
Yes.
also, I think when that happens with Column, they're not down in the facility, are they? They're still up in Canaan House.
Oh, you know what, though? They're in Canaan House, but they are in one of the Lichter studies, which we think are preserved in time, and I think they are in the river. And so the interesting question becomes, why are you getting this happening on Antioch? And then why do you get this happening on the Ninth House at the end of this book? And I think
but again, I think it's the conduit.
House,
yeah.
For me, the answer to the Ninth House is at least in part the fact that
they brought those bodies.
Yeah, he's reseeded it with new bodies that I think he's like trying to resurrect now, and now that everything's gotten sloppy as fuck.
Yeah, that's a problem. But it also could be a little bit too of because now they're like, it's like any of the bodies now apparently on the Ninth. And so that would make sense if it was like brought in from the resurrected bodies, but also it could have something to do with kind of like the Ninth House is a conduit to the river as well because it has the tomb.
Yes, absolutely. You're right. They're all tied together. I'm so excited.
Yeah. What do you
Sorry.
basically-
I copied my
yeah,
stuff
sorry.
in late. Tell me about what you want to talk about, and then we'll,
Basically, when I was going through, I just started kind of copying these things. And like I said earlier, on this reread, just really hit home how weird Ianthe and Corona's relationship is.
Oh, same.
And so I picked out all of these kind of things that I think are interesting. Before we even get to that, though, this is all out of order. I'm going to have to say that again. Okay. The first thing that I want to say is I think that our little naifs pointed out something really interesting about nobody knows the whole story. And it's interesting, like, who doesn't know anything and who knows a little bit and, like, what does everybody know? So I think it's kind of fun to play the game of, like, what do people know? So
Yeah.
John just texted us, fuck you guys. So I think that he has
Already?
realized that Pal is in Babs' body. So
Great. Cool.
that's pretty funny. I see why Marie was smirking. Yes. That is why I was smirking. That is precisely why.
I love that, he said, I'm going to read it right after
Impeccable
this.
timing.
And you think like, oh, is he going to go get a coffee? And then maybe he'll sit down. No, he opens the book. He turns off Zoom and opens the book.
Okay, where was I? Okay, so Ianthe doesn't know who Harrow or what's going on with Harrow. Ianthe doesn't know what was going on or how the sixth house left. Ianthe doesn't know that Palamedes is still there. Ianthe doesn't know what Giddy 1/Pyrrha is.
Yeah, I have something I want to add to that last piece, but should I do that now or later? Sorry.
We got another text that said, OMG, John. From Brooke. Now or later. Yeah,
Finish
just put
what
it
you're
in here
saying.
now.
Okay. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, listeners. And sorry, Marie, who will edit this. So Ianthe definitely does not know that Pyrrha is Pyrrha. I think we can agree on that.
Mhm.
However, there's a couple of really interesting things. There's a point where Pyrrha says everyone with a necromantic body is down right after Nona screams as badly as she does. And I thought this was really interesting because it made me think for the first time, Ianthe is not surprised at all that Giddy 1 doesn't have blue madness. And that's crazy. Ianthe has arrived in someone else's body because she
Yes.
can't be there in a necromantic body. Whereas Giddy 1 ostensibly is a necromantic body, right? Which tells me that everyone has always known that there's something different about the lictor, the Saint of Duty. And this to me goes along with some of the things that I have been thinking about who is a necromancer? Are they both necromancers? We've talked about how Giddy 1 is resurrected from just an arm. How much of him is there? He's a Thanergy void rather than someone who can manipulate Thanergy. So there's something really interesting to me about the fact that it must be known that he is a different sort of lictor. That's all.
Oh, that is wild. I knew that there was something weird there. It's always so weird, how she talks to him about being because it's obvious that Pyrrha is acting like Giddy 1.
Yes, for sure. She's doing that terse single word dark. And Nona keeps saying that it's so different from the Pyrrha she knows. And then every once in a while, the Pyrrha she knows will break through in terms of her movements because it's Pyrrha pretending. Yeah. And I think Ianthe buys the pretense, but it does bring up some questions about what you would expect from the Saint of Duty.
Yeah. So there's something really bizarre there.
Yeah.
Okay, other things that other people don't know. Crown, I can't tell if Crown knows about Duty or not.
I don't think that she does. I don't think she knows that it's Pyrrha. I don't think she knows that Pyrrha is a person. I think that she has been with BOE long enough and BOE has assumed that it is really a lictor, but somehow a damaged lictor, right?
And maybe that's what Ianthe is going off of too, is just saying it's a damaged lictor, and so not at full capacity, and so now they're not impacted or something.
Yeah, it was just surprising to me, this specific quote, everyone with a necromantic body is down. Yeah, who the fuck knows, man? I don't think Corona knows that it's Pyrrha. because of how tense but she also has kind of always had this mistrust of Pyrrha from the beginning.
She does know that it's Cam and Pal, but she has not told that to Ianthe.
She
does
100%. And she also knows that Nona is Nona and
not Harrow, and she also hasn't told that to Ianthe. And then Nona knows nothing. And Cam and Pal know about themselves. They know about Harrow. They know about Pyrrha. They know that Crown isn't telling Ianthe everything. They also know more about the relationship between the Sixth House and BOE in Days of Yore, but they don't know anything about the current state of the houses.
Yes.
Okay, so are we all kind of caught up mostly?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think all of that is right.
So the thing that I'm confused about is like, what does Pyrrha know or not know? Because she just says to the duplicitous sluts line that Cassie played long games.
Which implies that she's done stuff like this in the past, that she like is a person who plans, that there's some example that Pyrrha already has of Cassie playing long games, which I think is really, really interesting. I'm with you 100%.
And I think that line is after Ianthe saying, you said she's dead. She's dead. And he says, yeah, we watched her die, but Cassie played long games. So I think that's even more in the like box of she's dead, but she's not gone.
Yes. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, you watched her die also still is not, I don't think it's totally accurate either. Because it's been described in multiple different ways, and we've talked about some part of Cassie is still meaningfully in the game. I also think this is interesting. What does Pyrrha know in the context of how Crown has always reacted to Pyrrha? That Crown on multiple occasions has said to Cam some iteration of, you don't know what she's planning. You don't know what he's planning. You don't know what he's capable of. You like this idea that there is something underneath, that actually there is a long game that Pyrrha is playing that we don't know about. And Pyrrha keeps her cards actually oddly close to her chest in some cases and then totally just spreads them in others. When we get to the ninth house, Pyrrha is just going to drop all sorts of little like knowledge bombs that she's been there before, that she painted a nursery, that like these things that actually could be really meaningful, but she says in these casual ways so they get lost in the background. I have no idea what Pyrrha's goals are. I have no idea what she knows. We have reasons to believe that she has more retention of memory than any of the other lictors. I got fucking nothing. I don't know if her goal is to kill John. It might be.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I think Pyrrha is one of the most interesting characters, just simply because it's kind of background until you realize that you don't know what she knows or what her goals are or what she wants or what's even going on. So
I don't think I really picked up on that until this reread, that I was dismissing Pyrrha. I was treating Pyrrha as this wonderful, interesting human character, but not thinking about her as a piece on the chessboard, you know, as someone who actually is part of the plot and part of the, yeah, exactly.
Interests. Yeah. Which now, all of that now leads us to what the fuck is going on with the twins, because I think this is one of the chapters that gives you the most about how weird they are. So one of the most interesting things to begin with is the realization that Corona has not told Ianthe hardly anything, because Corona tells her, I told you she was here, but I left out the details.
And that means that Corona, see, this is why I was saying Corona can lie. I don't think this is even lie of omission. Corona managed to say Harrow is here, which is a lie.
Or at least just if Ianthe asks, is Harrow here? She says, yeah.
Yeah. And she also, and Corona, even now, not only did she not tell Ianthe before, but she's going along with this plan that Cam and Pal are obviously perpetrating, right? Like, you know, Corona watches Nona walk in pretending to be Harrow and knows exactly what's going on and still keeps to the story, still is keeping to it being Harrow. Yeah, which means that their goals are not aligned. Corona's and Ianthe's are not aligned.
Which leads to the next line that Ianthe says, which is Corona wants Ianthe to, save, to go with their goals so that they could do so much good, they could help others. And Ianthe tells her, "You always were somebody else's girl. I fully intend for us to be us together now. But I have the framework for it, and you, my poor dummy, do not."
I'm so glad you highlighted this line.
What does that mean?
I literally
What does that
highlighted the
mean?
same line in my notes. I was like, I don't know. I think us to be us in italics is so interesting. I mean, because we also have this thing of like Cam and Pal are about to become a different kind of us, a singular us. But I don't think that's what Ianthe means.
No, because then they wouldn't be. For them, us is they are always together, but they are distinct.
Yes, the duality matters, and but it's so interesting. I don't know what she means when she says, I have the framework for it. For me, that means that it has to be some sort of necromancy, right? Or it could be something about power. I think this goes back to the apples. And she was like, I can make you immortal. Yeah.
And so you do have to rely on me. You do have to, like let me be the one who's calling the shots because I have the power. So... Which
and the other thing she also says, we're closer to the goal than ever before. Like Ianthe says that. And so they have a concerted, specific goal that they are becoming close to. And I think that goal it's independent from this, I intend us to be us together. I think I intend us to be us together in order to go for our goal is what she's saying. And so that makes me wonder, is Corona's goal still the same? Was Corona's goal ever what Ianthe thinks their goal is? And then, of course, what the fuck is the actual goal?
Yeah, what is the goal? Who knows? Because it's also interesting how crazily Corona manipulates Ianthe. And it's also really interesting in the power dynamics between the two. Because Ianthe has always had the actual power, but Corona has had the soft power in a way that was almost more important because she was the one that was visual. But even more importantly, even though Ianthe seems like the crazy manipulative bitch because she's the one who talks all the time and says this insane, evil villain shit, it's Corona who's saying things like, you're going to watch just like when we were teens. And this time I'm really going to do it.
She absolutely.
Right after that, she uses a different manipulation where she says, my heart's own, my necromancer.
Yeah. Sorry, it's really insidious. It's manipulative on a level that makes me shudder, that gives me goosebumps, that makes me deeply, deeply horrified and uncomfortable. And even so, I genuinely believe that Corona is someone who is drawn to the idea of helping people, that Corona is someone who has mixed feelings and complicated emotions about the path that she's chosen to take and the path she feels he has to take. And nevertheless, the way she does not treat Ianthe like a person. She really does not. She treats Ianthe like a tool, and she treats Ianthe like she's discardable in a way that Ianthe treats everybody else in the world like they are discardable. It's really gross and much more upsetting because you have this state of love, whereas Ianthe tells you from the beginning that she doesn't give a fuck about you. So when she betrays you, it's nothing. The idea of Corona betraying Ianthe is really pretty devastating. And I think you're right. I think Corona, to be honest, is the one that's always had the power. And we also have gone through, iterations of Judith saying Corona would never be party to a plan that she hadn't made up, could never keep a secret that wasn't hers, that actually Corona is likely to be the one who is coming up with the play. And then Ianthe is enacting it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was such an interesting kind of on a reread of just being what
I really can't wait. Yeah, I know. I was serious. I'm so looking forward to all of us together doing this. We're not yet there, but we are actually approaching a point where even in our regular episodes, rampant speculation, I think, is going to become a thing that all four of us do together, because there are going to be more and more things where there are no answers and where the questions are really, really interesting. And I'm excited to brainstorm with our two newbies who we know are incredibly smart and incisive and insightful to carve away to the truth of what's really happening here with Corona Iniante. Ooh. Ooh.
Anyway,
Yep.
Also, I just love that they're like, we're going to do all this body swapping stuff. And it's like, well, we're not actually going to do body swapping. Everybody's going to go back to their actual bodies, except we're going to have this interlude with Pal and Babs, which you guys dismissed as just obviously ridiculous.
Well, and again, I actually really hope that if this ever gets made into a TV show or a movie, I actually would prefer that they do it in an animated format, because there's just so much cool shit that I don't think you can accomplish in a real life format. But if they did, I think it would be so much fun to watch whatever poor actor they got to do Babs has to play Babs, Ianthe, and Palamides, which is a very weird trio of personalities to be able to pull off.
And it's probably one of those things, too, where you don't even, like, they wouldn't even necessarily get all the accolades for doing it well.
No, of course not. Because, yeah, you're totally right. You're totally right. But I would be thrilled for them. I look forward to future Babs.
That would be such a fascinating thing as the casting director, because it would like, you have to have a very specific look, but you also have to have somebody who, like, if they could pull it off well, that's like a once in a lifetime actor.
100%. Well, and you'd have to hope that the casting director was thinking far enough ahead and was not just casting for Gideon the Ninth, because I really do think you could end up in trouble there. So interesting to watch people try and pick up someone else's mannerisms.
Also, it's kind of why we've got completely off the rails here, but I think it's interesting where it'd have to be more like a Lord of the Rings kind of situation, where you film all of it at once and you can't let people go. It can't be a Game of Thrones situation where you like have different actors ending up, where like you change storylines literally because you can't get them anymore because it took like 15 years to make or whatever. It didn't take 15 years to make, but maybe it did.
No, but I hear you.
Maybe it did.
I don't know. But I like this idea, actually, that it would have to be created in a Lord of the Rings style, that you really would have to put it all together at once. And in the same vein, part of the reason I love those Peter Jackson movies is that they built it and they believed in the world, and everybody they cast, acts as if they believed in the world, as though it's not a fantasy novel. This is just a place you live. And I think that's what you would need from this. Is like, oh yeah, but of course there are pools of fat that suck you under. Like, duh. Yes. I have two truly tiny little points that I want to just bring up, and we can dismiss them immediately. One is that when Pash says, die quick, die cold, bring him with you, Cam holds out her hand for a handshake and Pash doesn't take it, saying, I'll touch you at the end of the world, but not before. And that seems like classic foreshadowing. So I'm looking forward to some final battle moment when they actually shake hands at the end of Electo and then the world ends. That's my hope for the world.
It's the same thing. Like, doesn't We Suffer actually salute them at the end of this book? Yeah.
Yes. And it's there's some we're hitting this point where everything has gone so far beyond what you expected it to. There's decorum between people, but there's no longer factions, because it really is just kind of everyone against God. I guess that is factions in itself. But the other one that's really interesting, Ianthe says God can't spare the hands. Hands is capitalized as in like the lictors, the hands, and says plural. That could be nothing. That could be just the phrasing that she wanted. But it suddenly was really weird to me, because there is only one hand. Literally the only lictor who is still alive is Ianthe. I suppose it's
unless
possible
Ianthe
they're counting
Gideon.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was just kind of a weird phrasing where I was like, don't understand. I'm gonna just get obsessive about single letters in this book. How dare you, plural.
The electopause. That's what
it's making us all nervous. It's filling us up with conspiracy theories. The world needs no more conspiracy theories. Although, if you were going to do conspiracy theories, they should be about necromancy. I feel pretty okay about that. Oh my God. Sorry. Can I tell you? Yes. Well, cows and necromancy, because why wouldn't you combine the two? I have to tell you a really funny thing, and listeners, I think you'll appreciate this. So my dad is here right now. He's in the background somewhere taking care of a baby. He was like, oh, you're still doing that podcast thing? I was like, yes, Dad, I'm still doing the podcast thing. I talk about you on it. And he said, it just seems weird to me that you're doing like a podcast about necromancy. I was like, oh, well, it's a fantasy book. And he was like, I just, feel uncomfortable. They just they do, and then he like raised his eyebrows and he's like, with dead people. And I was like, you're thinking of necrophilia.
Necrophilia. You think I've been doing a podcast for years at this point about necrophilia.
And at no point had like been like, Hannah, I feel like this is weird or not okay, or like, I'm surprised that you're doing it. He was just like, okay, she's just doing it.
If only everyone had such supportive parents.
Oh, well,
Imagine, listener, that your parents were as supportive as Hannah's dad, in which they just wouldn't question that you spent multiple hours of your week for 2 years talking about necrophilia.
Well,
And they were like,
Marie,
yeah, that seems fine.
every choice you make brings you one step closer to death.
And that's where we end it. Act 5. See you next time, my little nunlets. Well, it looks like we've got a barracks to search for Gideon's body, but we will be back next week to run through Nona the Ninth Chapters 24 and 25. If you want to follow along with us, our reading calendar is available on our website at frontline5th.podbean.com, and you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok, which are linked in the show notes. If you enjoyed this podcast, please tell your friends and give us a 5-star rating anywhere you can. And of course, if you didn't enjoy the podcast, why are you still listening at this point? It's fine. Feel free to lie. We know you love it. We have a Patreon, which you can join for access to bonus content every month. You can become a patron. They win all of their duels at patreon.com/frontline5th, and you can check out our merch at our Redbubble store linked in the show notes. Finally, if you have any fun theories you'd like to share with us, or you want to let us know what we should do in the Electopause, feel free to email us at frontline5th@gmail.com. And with that, I'll just remind you not to unlock any tombs or enter any doors without permission because, ghosts. Bye!
Frontline Fifth is a Locked Tomb podcast conceived by Maria Adamako and starring Maria Adamako, Hannah Grunwald, Brooke Anderson, and John Ryan. Our cover art was designed and created by Maria Adamako, who also edited this episode. Our fabulous music was composed and recorded by B. Anderson. Sonia Grunwald designs our killer merch. Ha! Gorgeous! The Locked Tomb series is a completely dope-ass book series by Tamsin Muir, who does not know we exist and is in no way affiliated with this podcast, to her detriment.